Welcome to Zooming to Webinar Success. If you're needing to plan a virtual meeting and are stuck, this series is for you. Full-time voice artist Grant Holmes is also a busy virtual meeting manager and on-screen host. Learn tips and tricks to having successful virtual meetings from step one. And now, here's your host, Grant Holmes, the webinar guy.
Hello, this is Grant, the webinar guy. Yeah, we're at episode 17 already. My goodness, for the last 2 episodes, we've covered 2 essential things to recording a webinar or doing a webinar. Your recording equipment, specifically webcams and or cameras and microphones. And in this episode, I promised to cover lighting. But I'm going to sidestep that for another episode. And excuse me for fighting a cold and all the... Anyhow, blah, blah, blah. Today we're going to discuss your brand to a bit. Think of any newscast you've ever watched. The late night shows, talk shows, sports talk discussions. They all have a look and purposefully designed set. I bring this up because I want you to take a moment to think about the perception that your recording space will pass along about you and about your brand. And its direct correlation to your product and or service you're offering or trying to sell. I have a friend that does his video podcast from his recording booth. He's a fellow voice artist and makes perfect sense. A client serving the elder care market records from a nice, just this side of plush office. Classy, but not overdone. It looks like he's successful, but the office doesn't look ornate or costly. In other words, successful here means that the prospective clients would think he's very capable and can be trusted with advising them on retirement plans and won't be soaking them for dollars. Perception is everything here. Think hard about the surroundings you're presenting in while on camera. A while back, I was hired to evaluate an organizational specialist doing a webinar. She was suffering horrible results and couldn't figure out why. Let's start with the bookshelf behind her that looked like anything but being organized. Books were leaning every which way. Photos were badly displayed. I think one was even upside down, on its face. And a couple weird things that were on the shelf that the audience, I'm sure, spent more time wondering what that is. I did. Than on what she was saying. Even her hair was a bit tousled and messy. Remember, we can listen to a lot of words, and if our minds are distracted visually, we're not really listening. In fact, you must understand that we're constantly forming opinions. And in this case, almost nothing in the frame fit her organized brand. She was creating a disconnect. And in my opinion, that any time the brain experiences disconnect, it does just that. Oh yeah, did I mention she started late? Yeah, that. Anyhow, all that said, think setup. Do you need to have others in your recording space to do interviews? There's a great energy when having people in your space when interviewing, but it's not necessarily. Frankly, this is a whole nother thing and well beyond this episode. So let's get back to just you and what you're doing. My experience says that the less tech you can deal with, the better. Try to eliminate using a second screen. Try to eliminate using a green screen unless there's a great reason to do so. Eliminating the platform-provided backgrounds. The famous Zoom palm tree island. Yeah, try not to use that. Natural environments, you in your office, etc., are best in many ways, but be sure to eliminate the distractions. Heck, hire a real estate stager or interior designer to help you design your space if you lack the design skills or nuance. But the important thing is not to step back and admire your set from across the room. No, pull it up on camera and see how it looks there. What sticks out? What can be eliminated? What do you look like? Take who you are to your best advantage. For example, here's a change I made. Last year, I started recording videos about getting started in the voiceover business. Some of my early missives are quite humorous. I did them mostly in a black t-shirt. Okay, fair enough. A voice artist gets hired for his voice, not on-camera appearance, right? But starting these podcast videos about successfully holding webinars, Zooming to webinar success, I knew my audience was a bit different. First, if I flub a line in voiceover, I just re-record it. In some ways, I kind of get unlimited tries. Try again, try again, try again. But being a live MC or moderator doesn't carry that same flexibility. I needed to pass along confidence in my delivery, my production values, and yes, I put on a jacket. I'm the same guy that did the videos in a t-shirt. No warp forward in skills, but I didn't want any disconnect that I could eliminate. Suit coats are still the part and parcel of professionals. It makes a difference. Take a piece of paper and describe your brand. Maybe you want to do webinars about motorcycle insurance or motorcycle litigation, and maybe wearing a biker vest and doing your webinar from your law office works. Why not? After describing your brand, now think of your set design. Use the record feature on Zoom or Google Meets or whatever, and record a few different looks and get feedback on screen. And as always, the webinar team here at the Webinar Guy is well versed in helping our customers design space and can help you evaluate yours. Maybe next time I'll talk about lighting. Anyhow, until then, this seminar series is for smaller organizations and solopreneurs that may not be tech savvy or don't know all the steps or don't want to know all the steps. Over this series, I'm going to lead you to the significant decisions and capabilities you'll need to Zoom to webinar success. And as always, if you need help now, don't hesitate to reach out to webinarpro@thewebinarguy.com. Thanks for watching, and for those of you listening on the podcast audio, thanks for listening. Would love to hear your questions and comments. Until then, happy webinaring.